everyone, it's Marlene. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. About a year ago, I recorded a video and it was about my silky, shiny, bouncy purple hair, something along those lines. And I'll leave that video link down below. In that video, I explained the shampoos that I use and I explained about the hair dyes that I use. And everything is still linked there and nothing has changed as far as the shampoos that I use, except that not only do I use the Redken that I mentioned in that video, I also use the shampoos by American Culture, specifically the one that really brings out the purple in my hair. And I'll also leave that link where I talk about that shampoo link down below. So as I was reviewing my previous videos to see if there was any one of them that I needed to do an update on, and when I came to that one, I thought, you know, something that I didn't mention in that video is that as we approach 60, yes, I'll be 60 in September, as we pass our 50s or our 60s, something that we lose is that shine that we had when we were in our 20s. I thought that I could share with you some things that I do in order to keep my hair sexy after 60 or sexy approaching 60. And one of the things that I am never ever without is I use the Frizz Dismiss from Redken, and I use this after I wash my hair. I also add a little bit of marula oil to all of my ends after my hair is dry, and that brings me to drying my hair. For the most part, I do not use a blow dryer on my hair unless I really have to. I try to schedule washing my hair for the evening. When I say the evening, I don't know, about 5 o'clock or so my hair has time to dry before I go to bed. And I do that because I don't want to have that extra heat. I think that also helps with keeping my hair shiny. That is a factor that really affects the shine on our hair, is all of that heat that we put on it. Something that I was doing a few years ago, and when I went to my hairdresser and I told her about it, she asked me if I was totally absolutely nuts, and that is setting my flat iron to 450 degrees. And then, this is not hot by the way, this is not on. But something that I would do, I would take it and I would leave it. And I would just go really slow with that 450 degrees. Well, what I was doing was frying my hair. So now what I do, and what I have been doing for the last 2 years, is I keep it at 300. And then when I go to straighten my hair, I just go very quickly and bring it down. And I go very quickly and bring it down, because that will eliminate having so much heat on your hair. The other thing is, if you have wavy hair or you have frizzy hair, or your hair just tends to frizz because of the weather, I know mine certainly does. My gosh, it's always humid in Florida. So my hair would never look like this. My hair would be out to here. Something that I do is I get a keratin treatment, and I cannot stress enough how helpful that is. Now, there are different types of keratin treatments. There are different types of Brazilian blowouts. There are also different prices and different places you can go. The keratin treatment that you might get somewhere where it's at a lower cost may not last as long as if you go somewhere and you might pay a little bit extra and then it's going to last longer. I always try to have my keratin treatment at least once a year, and that also keeps that shine in my hair. And I know that it can get a bit pricey, so it really all depends on, you know, what you want to budget for and what you want to spend your money on. I'm just here to let you know what I do and what I do to keep my hair shiny at this age, because it is a difficult thing to do. Something that I have learned throughout the years is that the box hair dyes contain a higher level of some ingredient that tends to dry your hair and give it that brittle look. And so I try to get that hair dye that I get at at sleekhair.com, the one from Goldwell, and it comes from Germany. It leaves my hair beautiful, shiny, and it doesn't wash out. I don't have to put so much dye in my hair as I used to because it just lasts a long time. Something else that I think really helps in me keeping my hair shiny is I do not use peroxide on from here down. I do not have any peroxide. I had it bleached at one point to lift the color in order to add the purple, but now I just use the semi-permanent colors. They don't have peroxide. If you use Arctic Fox, for example, those are vibrant colors and you may not want to use that, but that is a cruelty-free and it lasts, and it doesn't have, you don't add peroxide to it. The same with Pravana. That is another hair dye that you do not add peroxide to it and also lasts. So it might be something that you might want to consider or talk to your hairstylist about. And the last thing that I want to mention, just the same way as we apply masks to our face, I think a mask on our hair is really important. When I dye my hair, whether I'm just doing the roots, whether it's once a month because I didn't dye my hair, or I go to the salon, I always use a mask at least once a month. There are many companies that make hair masks. I use the one from Redken, and it is a thick mask, and I'll leave it linked down below. And I just put it all over my hair, and I wrap my hair up in a towel, and I leave it there for about 30 minutes. And that, I think, also helps in keeping my hair shiny and sexy at this age. Those are my tips for having sexy hair at the age of 60. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you have any tips for me that you would like to share, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your comment. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget, ladies, follow your passion, whatever it may be. I'll see you next time. Bye.